Welcome back to BioCrypt Productions podcast. Derek only fucked it up again for the fourth time. How you doing today, Alan?
Well, I'm a little more annoyed than I was 10 minutes ago, but I'm going to try to power through it for you.
Not me, but the viewers, right?
Fuck the viewers. The viewers, that's your bag. I don't give a shit.
Well,
Just
we
happy to be a part of the body. That's all.
we were talking about what games you were playing, and you mentioned that you were playing Tormented Souls, and you got
Yep.
unstuck from
Run
that.
stuff from there. Yep.
I'll try to like synaptic that since I fucked you up a little bit on that.
Yeah,
Um,
it is what it is.
and we've been playing Outlast Trials. I watched you
Yep.
Prestige.
Yep.
Relapse, you motherfucking relapser. And you got me
Yeah, I
into that
lost
game.
all my stuff, but it's given it new meaning, so I'm not that mad about it.
Yeah. And you kind of got me into that game, I think, since the last time we recorded this in general, too. So, like, that's been kind of fun to get into with you and scream and cry and get chased
Yep.
by the many different
She doesn't like
types.
you,
You knew
but
who I
we know
was
who
talking
it is.
about.
Yeah, she don't like you at all.
There's one particular. What are they called? Uh,
uh,
assets or something?
Well, so I'm not sure. I think they're all the same, but I don't know if there's a difference between Coil and Mother Gooseberry and Franco Barbie as the other people. But I know they're called XPops, which is experimental population. I think it's the same. I'm not sure.
Okay.
The thing that confuses me is if the machete people, let's say, for example, if they are supposed to be other reagents, because I think they're wearing night vision. How come their night vision doesn't work? I don't know. These are just questions that I've
That's a
had
good
while playing.
point.
If that's a reagent who's just crazy and killing other reagents, why are they not using night vision to do so?
Yeah, maybe they just enjoy the darkness now or something, or the hunt. That game would fit with that, but that's fair.
Or it's like a placebo effect, like it doesn't actually work. It's just there to so that we think that it is. I don't know. Knowing Outlast, it could be any number of things.
That's very interesting. And with that, you actually convinced me to get the Outlast series games. Like I literally just purchased them on eBay.
Yep, must play
Um,
for any horror fan. I don't care. You have to.
so I have all three coming. Well, they say three, but it's I guess one's a DLC, the Whistleblowers.
When's DLC? Yeah, yeah, and it's
Um,
cool. It's cool. It's worth a playthrough. I think I played through it once, twice, maybe.
so that'll be on the list to do now.
Yeah.
What else have you been playing? What else did we get to?
I've been jumping around, like I said. I went back to Death Stranding a little bit.
That's right.
Uh, some things happened to some characters that I was not prepared for. Did not really want to continue after that. Like I needed a break. I was like, okay, this is too much. Like I knew something was going to happen with Lou. I didn't think it was going to go that way. I won't spoil anything. And another character right after that one, I was like, okay, all right, you're this too much now, and so I've been taking a break from that.
Yeah.
Uh, Played a little bit of Ghost Recon Wildlands because that's also in my backlog. And like I don't even know if I should bother to make the joke again, but it's very cool in like a Republican's wet dream kind of way. You know, you're a gun for hire and you're hunting cartel members. I feel like that's what especially nowadays, what every Republican ever wants to do. It's cool in that sense that you can live out that fantasy if that's one of your things. Yeah, it's
Nice.
not been bad.
Okay. Well, the games I've been kind of touching on, we've been playing some similar. I actually beat Tormented Souls. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Complaints I have, which are the same I think as you, is there was at least seven puzzles that were just not intuitive. Like I'm a horror fan. I do a lot of horror games. I do get stuck on puzzles. I'm kind of dumb. But these ones, even after looking them up, I was like, there was no way in a
Oh yeah,
million years I
no,
would have figured this
impossible.
out.
Yep.
So,
One
and
that comes to mind in particular is the candle one, the candle holder dude around the
oh,
corpse. Like how? Huh?
yes, that one. I actually that was probably the first time I actually like started looking up things pretty thoroughly. Was after that one. I was like, well, if this is the game we're playing,
Yeah.
then I'm not.
There's no way.
I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds of me being stuck. Like I'll give it genuine thought, and then I'm like, nope, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and some of those key ones too drove me nuts.
Oh
Like ones
yeah.
with a picture of just like shapes. Like what the huh?
So Eileen actually helped me out with that, my wife, because I
Yeah.
we sat down together and eventually started figuring it out. But the one that got me was the alien Pharaoh B.
See, it's funny because that one I was able to get. I
Eileen
was like
got it,
alien, star, pharaoh, triangle, pyramid. You know what I mean? Like that, I find I
and
was
then the
able to put
honeycomb.
together.
No, the
Yeah,
aliens what confused me because that didn't really look like a star to me. I was like that looked more like an X, so I think I was just
yeah. I only knew it was a star because in one of the tutorials or the fucking thing I looked up, it referred to it as a star. That's the only reason why that clicked.
oh, so yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah.
But we actually did figure all those out without looking them up. We just it took us
Oh
a
wow.
while. Yeah,
No, there were some that I had to look up. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
yeah. The weird shaped ones you had to put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good though. But I would actually recommend it if you are a horror fan and you miss that classic like Resident Evil style that I don't know modernized a little bit so it's not so
Yeah.
clunky.
It
It
definitely wears its influence on its sleeve, but in a good way, I think.
absolutely and it you could tell it's pulling from Silent Hill and
Absolutely.
Resident Evil,
Yep.
which I love.
And I'm all for it. I'm cool with that.
And I got to get the second one now and I got to play that, but that's down the line because it's still $45 and I'm technically unemployed, so I should probably not be spending $45 on that. Uh,
Yeah. I got mine for 25.
I'm playing Claire Obscure, as I was telling you before, and it's an extremely French game. You just every time I walk in somewhere, it's French. It feels French. I
French
love
in
it.
your face. Yeah.
It's I've been craving a good turn-based. I know you don't like turn-based games, but I've been craving a good turn-based game, so this has been really hitting the spot to be honest. But Alan was laughing because I literally we were playing games yesterday, and I got off early because I really was like, all right, I'm gonna go beat this last boss. Like I know I'm about to go beat this last boss. Anyone who knows and played this game knows like the overall kind of story. I'm not trying to give anything away, but I thought it was the last boss. I was dead set. It took me like an hour and a half to get through this place and fight her. She had like three phases. At the end, there's like some long cinematics, a lot of emotions, a lot of shit starts happening, crazy stuff starts happening, and then it's like Act Three, and I was like, "What do you mean Act Three? I thought I was done. What's happening here?" So that was kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I hate when I think I'm gonna beat a game and it's just stripped from me like that.
Yeah. You got faked out.
Yeah, it won, and I should have seen it coming. Turn-based RPGs like this, like they always do that. So I don't know why my dumbass thought that wasn't gonna be the case, but I don't know. A great game, so I'm gonna continue. But man, that was disappointing. Otherwise, I'm not. Those are the two I've been really focusing on, to be honest. Otherwise, I've been doing a lot of recording for like the channel. Yeah, that's pretty
Nice.
much it. Um, any major life updates? I'm pregnant, so
No, nothing like that. Not anything I'm willing to talk about on the podcast anyway.
yeah, nice, nice. Well, same here. I'm kind of just chipping away at work. Yeah. Well, today's topic. This was Alan's idea, which I do approve of. You know, everyone we've been talking a lot about what the games we like, and we like a lot of them. Apparently, I've learned recently. I was going back through getting all that footage, and we like a lot of games, Alan. We're pretty broad.
Dude, yeah.
So what do we not like?
That was that broad.
What just irks you? And more specifically, what games are kind of well known and popular that you don't like?
So let me see. I don't know if all of these necessarily fit into that category, but some that I just cannot. And this one's gonna piss a lot of people off, and I'm glad because this game is just. I do not understand the hype with it. I'm gonna go with the most controversial take first. The Witcher 3.
Oh wow, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, The Witcher
Holy
3.
crap.
I
Okay, I'm
can't
gonna get up in my chair a little bit
stand.
here. But don't worry, listeners. I will fight for us as best as I can.
I've tried since PS3 to like that game when it first launched. I remember I bought that game back in 2013, whenever it launched, and went home, played it. I remember playing the first 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours of that game. And I remember being frustrated because the only thing that I accomplished in that 2 to 3 hours was the intro part where you talk and do cutscenes. And then I rode a horse, and then I went to a tavern and talked. And I remember thinking to myself, like, dude, I have yet to do anything with combat. Now, this was back then, so I'm like 18. I don't know how old I was back then. But okay, whatever. So then they did the remaster or the port or whatever for PS4. And I gave it another shot. I thought, all right, cool. It's going to be, some time has passed. Maybe I just need to grow up a little bit. Maybe it's actually gold, right? That was my mindset. And I remember I got to the, I think I fought the Griffin. I think. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this is the goofiest, clunkiest combat I've ever played in a game. I remember fighting some weird imp things in the forest, and I remember fighting the griffin, and it was just frustrating. Like, he's tired, he swings weird, the animations were goofy as hell. I was just like, this is just weird. The camera angles funky as hell. The story too is like, how many times I have to hear she smells of lilac and gooseberries? How many fucking times am I going to hear this guy say that? You're obsessed with this chick. I get it. Lilac and gooseberries. God damn it. The whole mission is called lilac and gooseberries. Okay, let it go, motherfucker. Like, you're asking literally the hobo on the street about lilac and gooseberries. What the fuck's he gonna know? And then they re whatever uh remastered it for the PS5. And I thought, okay, maybe with the graphical update and the whatever it is that they added some tweaks and some whatever. Maybe this will be the one. Maybe like the graphics will be shiny enough where it'll engross me and I'll care. And I remembered getting to that Griffin boss fight, and I had the same frustrations. It was just so clunky and so goofy and spongy, and like the getting tired and the fucking just the combat in general. And I did not. It was just like, I've played games that do this way better that have received way less praise.
Okay.
Like,
Damn.
I got to be missing something here, and it was just very slow paced. None of the characters were particularly compelling. I didn't find Geralt to be interesting at all. None of the characters grabbed me. The story did not. The aspects of the story that intrigued me were like, you probably have to put in 20 hours into the game for it to be prominent. But from what I remember, it was frolicking around in some forest, talking to NPCs with really terrible combat. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't. This is what blew people's minds. Like, this is the thing that just, oh my god, The Witcher. That spawned a show on Netflix, for Christ's sake. Like,
I would
I
say
just
it's a slow burn. You're 100% right. You really got to commit to doing it. Like you can't uh, be hooked in the beginning. It's one of those kind of games where you have to kind of like get past that beginning but the storytelling gets really insanely good, specifically the side quests. That's where that game really shines, in my opinion. The combat, I haven't played it long enough to confirm nor deny what you're saying. To be honest, I'd have to go back and play it and see how I feel about it now. But for the time, I felt like it was different for sure. And you could tell that CD Projekt Red hadn't really done too much combat, and they were taking on a lot to do this. So you can I can see what you're saying even back then. Um, yeah, no, I gotta say, like you have valid points. I'll give you that. It's probably not for everybody. And honestly, a good point to you as well is that like Andre loves the Witcher games, and The Witcher 3 took him a literal year to beat. Like he had to play that game for a year before he beat it. So it's one of those you just have to commit to it for long. You have to be willing to enjoy it as it is. So if you only kind of like it, I don't know if it would be worth it to commit. You know, it's
I
just not
didn't
the one
like
for
it
you.
at all. I didn't find any of it particularly compelling. I remember being bored. I remember yawning a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that one would
it
not be
was
a good
just
one for you.
very like, from because I have a friend who loves that game. It's one of his favorite games, and he tells me that he enjoys talking to NPCs. He enjoys dialogue in games, even if it's not particularly, you know, if there's nothing special about it. Like, he likes that aspect of games, and I do to a degree. But almost every single game where that's a thing, I'll find myself skipping the dialogue options. Almost every game. I didn't mind it in Fallout because the character is voiced. I know that a lot of people don't like the fact that he's voiced. I don't know why, but that's a problem for people. That helped me be more engaged in the dialogue in Fallout 4.
I'd agree with that.
Um, Other games where like I can do it for a time and then I just stop caring. Dying Light 2 comes to mind. Uh, I think even the first Dying Light, I think I cared for the most part, but eventually found myself skipping stuff. Um, so I'm not like a dialogue heavy person. But see, then in other games like in Death Stranding, it doesn't bother me. Um, it just depends. But for the most part, I'm not a dialogue
Yeah,
for hours on end type of guy. Like, I want to get on with it. I don't want to sit here and talk to you. Like, I don't like talking to people in real life. What makes you think I want to talk to people in a game? You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
got to be kind of compelling. Like be useful if you're gonna talk to me.
Yeah. Give me some lore. Like, give me something interesting here. Have it be meaningful, I guess.
I don't skip dialogue, and I get bored, so I know what you're talking about. I do.
But anyway, that's my first game, Witcher 3. I think it's the most overrated mediocrity that I think I've ever played.
I wasn't gonna start with this one, but I feel attacked a little bit on yours, so I'm gonna go with Helldivers too.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one at all. I don't.
See, here's my
I
thing.
get. Yeah, go into it. Go into it.
Here's my thing. Is that it's not the gameplay is fun. I like the idea of fighting robots and giant spiders in space. Like that's cool too, and like how it's like Super Troopers. Like I actually thought I was going to go into this really liking this with all the hype. And I don't actually want to talk bad about Helldivers. This just isn't a good game for me. I don't have enough return on investment in the sense. Like I need a little like home headquarters that I can decorate, like Outlast Trials. You get your little room and you can decorate it, make it nice. You unlock things that way. Helldivers 2 is a game that you just like because it's a fun game, which is great. I actually support that. That's fantastic, and it's cool that it knows its identity. But I just lose interest way too fast. I can't care long term about that game.
I will say, if the moment to moment gameplay doesn't grab you, then yeah, Helldivers is not for you. Like, and I will say there are things about Helldivers I don't like that I want to touch on here. Um, they did a collaboration with Killzone, and I know they added one of the SMGs. They added the sniper skin, and they added the Hellgast assault rifle as well as the assault infantry skin. And I was like, "Yo," because we've been starved of Killzone forever now
Yeah,
because of Shadowfall's poor reception, and the fact that the team just went on to do Horizon. Um, but I do remember like logging in super excited, and it was like they punished the players because it was only given to the people that were active for the last 6 months. So if you abandoned Helldivers, you didn't get the skins. I eventually, I don't know how, but I was able to get the sniper skin and the SMG, but I wanted the assault class skin and the assault rifle. That's what I wanted, and I missed out on it. I was, well, you're shit out of luck. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it, and that was it. And there's no way to work for it. There's no way to buy it. There's no, at least to my knowledge, there's no way to get it. I mean, like, why even bother then if you're just gonna, you know what I mean? It felt predatory in the sense of like, hey, play our game and keep playing your game, or you don't get anything.
yeah, or you don't get what
The
you
other thing
want.
I'll say about Helldivers that I don't like is it is grindy. I will say that. Like, I feel like I've been playing that game forever, and I'm like barely unlocked anything for my ship because there is that aspect of it. The ship does change
Mm.
when you start unlocking stuff. It's just it's not apparent because you have to grind for so long to get anything. So I agree with that. I just think that the Terminated sequences specifically, like they're just so Hollywood production. So what's that movie?
Super Troopers
Super Troopers, yeah, that one. It's so that like that, and
or
and the
Starship
environments are
Trooper?
really cool.
What was it called? I always get movies mixed up.
I think it is Star. I think it is Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. That's what it is.
Anyway, I agree with that, but continue. I just wanted to. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I
No,
just wanted to
honestly,
give my 2 cents
that
about.
that probably
I
goes
do
more in
agree with
depth.
some of your criticisms.
Well, that's really the majority of it. Like I said, it's just not there's not enough return on investment for me personally. Like it sounds like eventually you can do some stuff, but it's so minor for how much time you have to put in that I'm like I don't know. I'd rather go build a cool castle in Conan with that same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I
That's
need
fair. Yeah,
I like when I go back to a game and I feel like wow, look at all the shit I accomplished. So you know what I'm saying? And that I just feels like I'm not gonna
yeah,
get that from Helldivers.
that's fair. That's fair. The other criticism I have about Helldivers is if you don't have at least another competent player to play with, that game is impossible. I don't like that it's not single player friendly at all.
Yeah, it's not, is it?
And me having a job and not being the most social person in the world, co-op games that force you to be co-op. I mean, even Outlast is getting borderline just not doable for me because the levels that they're pumping out it's very co-op play. So yeah, I guess now that we've talked about it, I can kind of see why Helldivers would be.
You see what I'm saying?
I
Like
get it.
it's
Yeah, I
not.
get it.
And if you are a fan that actually likes Helldivers, you can leave your hate comment. I'm totally fine with that. I totally get it. But I'm not really coming with like spite. It's just not the right one for me. I don't like it.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I like it, but I like it under certain parameters, and those parameters aren't always met. So yeah,
Okay.
I am still salty about the Killzone thing. I know they did a Halo one too, and now that I've been getting into Halo, I know I missed out on that one. So that one's gonna piss me off. because I do like the battle rifle in Halo. That's one of my
That's
favorite assault rifles in a
yeah.
game. So,
So what's your second game then? Or
let me grab the old list here.
how many you got by the way? I have four.
I've got a good amount, but more of them, like I said, there's one that like I'm attacking a specific model slash genre more than I am attacking a single game. But here's one that I do actually hate, and I just don't get it how it's managed to sustain a player base this entire time. DayZ.
Never actually tried it.
Oh, yeah, I tried it a month ago with Avery, and it plays like a pre-alpha build demo. It is so bare bones and so unintuitive and so janky and so it's like why would anybody bother with this? And it's expensive too. Like if you buy that game brand new, I think it was free on PSN and that's why I got it. But I think if you buy it brand new, it's still like $45.
Damn.
Uh, who in anybody's right mind would pay that much money for a shitty demo pre-alpha build type game? I mean,
So
we died in the first like hour. The management system is cumbersome. The everything about it is fuck you. Essentially, it's hey, you want to play this game? Fuck you. Fight the controls. Fight the jank. Don't find anything. Everything kills you. Even you have the stamina of a 65-year-old smoker. Like it's just one of the most unwelcoming, uninteresting pieces of garbage I've ever. I mean, no disrespect to actually no disrespect to the team. Like you guys. I mean, kudos for making money on this pile of dog shit. But like, what is that? I mean, one of the worst games I've ever played. It's terrible. And the fact that anybody can consistently plays that game blows my mind.
so you think it's like one of those games where it just sucks really early and the more you get into it and understand it, the better it gets?
No, no, it's apparent pretty much immediately. It's very unwelcoming. Like there's not even like a you're just kind of thrust into this really janky world. And I don't necessarily mind jank, but there's jank and then there's laziness. There's a lack of developer support, right? You can launch a game shitty if you don't have the money and add on it. But if the bones aren't there and if you're not willing to update the game in a manner that's, that
Yeah.
makes sense, why even bother? And that was one of the things I was like, when did this game release? I thought it was like fairly new. I thought it was a fairly recent release. No, it's been out for like since 2014 or something crazy like that. It's an old game at this point, and it is still garbage. Like like I said, it plays like an alpha build. Like it's not even in beta yet. And I've
Damn.
played games in alpha that were actually incredible right off the bat. The Forest comes to mind. The minute I played that game, I was like, "Oh, whatever this is, I have to have it whenever it releases." Uh, DayZ was just confusing. I was like, again, it was like it gave me that same sensation of The Witcher. It was like, this is what people freak the fuck out about. This is trash. This is terrible.
I think it's like a part of the like Breaking Bad syndrome that you were talking about earlier too. Like people talk it up so much that we expect more out of it.
No, because I knew that it was going to be an online. Um, like I knew it was a multiplayer, which I usually tune out of when I hear multiplayer. I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore. I knew it was going to be that. I went in with low expectations. I went in thinking like I'm not going to care. It's zombies. It's multiplayer. Something to play with Avery. That's really what my mindset, my attitude was.
Yeah.
And even at that, it was like she was getting like actually angry.
Wow.
Um, because it's just so, and I don't blame her. Like I was right there with her. It was like this is just stupid. Um, there's far better co-op games to play, and it just blows my mind that Daisy has managed to stay afloat throughout all these years.
Yeah.
And now if I'm missing something, I'm sure there's somebody's well, you have to do this and you have to do that, and that's fine. But like, understand that I'm a man with zero time and
You got to kind of hook
even
us a
less
little bit.
care. Like I just
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta give me something. If you're not gonna give me at least like a crumb, if you're just gonna actively flip me off as I play your game, I'm not about it.
Yeah. I'm not a masochist. Jesus.
Yeah, and that's kind of how that felt. So Daisy is my second game. I hate it. Never play it again. I uninstalled immediately. Will never go back to it.
I hate
Garbage.
it. Okay, my second game is Final Fantasy 13, which I know you're going to have no real input on this. That's fine.
Yeah, I have no opinion on it. I know it's that anime game that goes on forever. That's all I know.
it goes on. Well, each Final Fantasy is its own, like usually its own unique story, and I'm not like a Final Fantasy professional. I've played
Uh-huh.
quite a few of them, and I like most of them. Like I've played 10, I like 10. I like 15. I like 16. I like the 7 remake. That's probably all I've played, honestly. Oh, Type Zero. I also played Type Zero. I liked that. This is the first one where I was trying. I was like, sometimes these games are kind of a slow burn, like what you were talking about, where you have to kind of get through the bullshit in the beginning for a long time before the good shit actually starts coming.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 13 abuses that. First off, they go way too long to start giving you anything decent, and I kept trying. I was like, yeah, it's got to be worth it. If it's gonna wait this long, it's got to be worth it. No, that game sucks. I don't like the characters. I don't like the story. I don't like the scenery. I don't like literally anything about that game. I think the combat specifically is what drove me the most nuts. That is the most dumb combat ever. It was like they were trying to transition out of turn-based and into like more of a live action kind of fighting, but they didn't have the balls to commit. So they kind of just got this
Mm,
halfway middle ground, and I can't
Master of
stand it.
None.
Yes, it's like it's trying to overcomplicate something that should not be that overcomplicated. And there's probably gonna be someone in here that lists this off, or I have no idea honestly how the Final Fantasy community feels about 13 in particular. I know there's a lot of the main character is this girl named Lightning. There's a lot of Lightning lovers out there. I don't care. She's not even that great. She's just a typical pent up bitch with no real emotions and no depth. So I don't know like why everyone loves her. What? Because she's got pink hair? Like this is dumb. So I don't know. I'm just not. That game was extremely disappointing for me, and I pushed through as hard as I could. I got about halfway through, but no, you couldn't pay me to finish that game. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately I have no uh the only thing that I can say about Final Fantasy is I know that it's been around since PlayStation 1 and the only thing I can say about it is anytime I've ever seen Final Fantasy advertised, this is verbatim what goes through my mind. Oh, it's one of those anime bullshit games. I'm not playing that. That's it. That's the extent of my Final Fantasy knowledge.
I'll have to show you some of them. I think at some point. There's some I can get you to like because they're all different. So
I doubt it. I don't think you understand the despise I have for the anime style.
it's fair. I don't think you could get over that.
No.
Well, coming from someone who doesn't really play Final Fantasy, though, getting over like that fact, like coming from like someone who just enjoys video games, any questions you have about it that like I could help open your eyes up to at least understanding what I'm coming from on my hate for 13.
No, no, none come to mind. Like I said, anytime I've seen those games, there has been nothing, like not a single aspect of them that looks interesting to me. I see the characters. I hate what they're wearing. I hate the hairstyle. I hate the weapons. The bright color, the saturated color, everything about it, it just is offensive to me. Everything I'm like, get that. Why is this on my screen? Get the fuck out of here. Like I just no open mindedness whatsoever with that series at all. It's just one of those games that I have written off, and I don't think I'll ever come around to it.
You don't need to. You like you said, your backlog's so long, and those games are so
Yeah, like
huge.
yeah, I'm good.
Like
I
they
have
are
enough
good
games for
games,
enough
but I
years.
think everyone needs to come to that conclusion someday of like what you want to focus on versus what, because there's good games in every genre. Just if you like that genre, that's really what it comes down to. I think. What is your game number three?
Game number three. I okay. I'm gonna touch on this one briefly, just because I haven't finished it, and I feel like I know I'm going to eventually. This is just like my impression so far. I do have like a fourth though that I maybe I should do that one first. I'll do that one. The other one will be like an honorable mention.
Okay.
So these games here are more just like a genre than they are a. Actually, that's not true. I have quite a few here, so I lied. So my third game is going to be Phasmophobia.
Okay. I haven't tried it. Can you describe what the game
Okay.
is?
Yeah, so essentially it's a very janky um you get together with a few friends, you pick your tools in a lobby. It's like a warehouse. And then you set off to whatever location you choose and you do paranormal investigation.
That sounds cool.
It does, right? Until you do it. So you get your tools, and it might be the people that I was playing with that were part of the problem. Um, so how I got into this is there's this chick at my job. Um, God forbid she ever hears this because now she's gonna know what I think about her. But uh, she's how do I put this in the most not confrontational way? She's the typical like okay, so she's very conventionally attractive, and I work in a fucking warehouse full of men, so obviously everybody wants her, right? And so whatever the fuck she says goes. Like there's no question. Nobody's gonna tell her otherwise because she's pretty. And that's fine. So like all the people on the Discord that play with her, like it don't matter what they're playing. If she wants to play it, they're down. If she doesn't want to play it, it's not happening. Right? She kind of dictates the pace. This is like her one of her favorite games. She loves this game, and so people play it with her. And eventually, I got roped into that, and so I gave it a shot. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like I knew I wasn't gonna care going into it. I was like, this is gonna be one of those games I just don't care, but I'll give it a shot. Maybe it's cool. Maybe it's tight. Now, keep in mind, I play things like the Outlast Trials, and for anybody that's played both, Phasmophobia ain't no Outlast Trials. Okay, it's just not. So you load in, and I was confused immediately because I'm in the back of a semi truck, and it's got like monitors and all this paranormal equipment and all this stuff, and there's like tools, there's like crucifixes, like salt, what else? Spirit boxes, like all the tools, right? All the conventional tools that you would find in paranormal investigation. And you pick, they tell me, hey, grab this headlamp, grab this, grab that. Okay, cool. So we go. I think the first one I did was like some campsite. It's like a haunted campsite. And I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. You just, they're over there setting up a camera, like, oh, hey, there's a cold spot here. So they're setting up salt or some shit with the Bible. I don't know. Like you're supposed to employ specific tools for specific clues. And it's kind of the same thing every time. It doesn't really change. Um, But me wanting to get into the action and wanting to, all right, let's do this. Like, come on, like, let's get creepy here. Let's ghost it up. Let's, where's the dread? I want the dread, right? Uh, Suddenly out of nowhere, they're just like, oh, she's here. Everybody hide, you know. And I'm like, where? There's nowhere to hide in here. Get in the tent. I'm usually one of the first people to die. Now, all of the creatures, ghosts, poltergeists, whatever in the game that I've seen, every single one of them is the least scary thing I've ever seen, the jankiest animations I've ever seen. Um, and the thing grabs me and like covers my eyes or something. I'm not even entirely sure how I die. I turn into a ghost. Now, when you're a ghost, because they insist on using proximity chat, uh, you can't talk to the other players. So you're just by yourself in like a weird version of the map. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like the ghost version, I guess. And you can't do anything. You can pick up objects and throw them around, and that's about all you can do. So the match goes on, and you're just wandering around, just looking at stuff. Like, wow, this is really cool. I can walk around and pick stuff up, and that's it. You can kind of troll the players a little bit by throwing stuff at them, but they know what's going on, and because they're so desensitized to it, they don't care. Like, oh, that's Alan throwing stuff, like whatever. It loses its allure very quickly,
Hmm.
and that's
Sounds
all
like
it is. You just wander around random locations that aren't scary, uh, and you're supposed to do paranormal investigation. And there's really no way to like run or hide from the thing. You can hide, but even hiding doesn't last forever. Eventually, the thing, I don't know how the AI works, but they do find you because there's times where I have hid and I have the crucifix and I do all the things right and I still get killed. So it's like there's not really a rhyme or reason. It's more like just don't be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I, for some reason, happen to always be there because they're always telling me like, "Why are you in the creepiest part in the whole game?" Like, what do you mean? It's just a dark room. Like, there's nothing creepy about it. Um, and again, like the people I play with probably had a part in that because it was kind of boring. Like
they're really
I like these
good.
people. They're my coworkers. They're cool, but they're in that game setting specifically. They're boring.
Yeah, because they've done it a million
Um,
times too, and they're like,
yeah, and I tried it. I tried them in. They invited me a few times. I just every single time I just did not care, and I could not wait to get off. I remember somebody being like, "Well, I'm hopping off," and I would always take the opportunity. Yeah, I gotta get going too. Hit that old dusty trail, and I would be relieved to
that
get
old
off the game.
dusty trail. Yeah, it honestly, from my perspective, it does sound like one, it's the people you're playing with, but two, that the game itself wasn't even really fully cooked for someone who likes horror. Like this feels like it's a stepping stone horror game. Like someone who maybe doesn't do scary
I think that's
gets
what it
stuck.
is.
You know?
I think yeah, I think the final arbiter when it comes to setting up the games, I think she's not like a super like she can only handle certain types of horror, and that's probably like for her like oh my god this is terrifying. So I think that's part of it. I
Yeah.
think you're right. Me being Silent Hill 2, Condemned 2, like all the scary shit forever. Maybe a little desensitized to walk around a spooky house. Ooh, is it haunted? Gee, I
Yeah.
hope not. You know what I mean? Like,
Honestly, yeah.
yeah.
My third game for controversial opinions on this is I don't like Fortnite, and this is kind of more of a genre thing, like we were talking about, where it's the what's it called, like the Warzone, like the PUBG, the
Oh, what's it
battle.
called?
Uh,
Battle Royale. Battle
yeah,
Royale.
I don't care. And this it's a bigger thing for me than just battle royale. It's the whole round based, like they're fun for like 3 rounds for me, and then I think I'm done
Yeah.
forever. And that goes for like Call of Duty Online, Battlefront Online, like all of it. I could do it like 3 or 4 times and then be sufficed. I'm good. I don't need to play it anymore.
But you
Um,
badmouth Battlefront.
I'm just saying. I actually like the
No, I
campaign on
know, I
that.
know.
I think I need like set pieces or some purpose, or there needs to be a little bit more for me than just a round based thing. Uh, I really like when they let you customize things at the very least. Give me a purpose for why I'm just doing the same shit over and over and over again, and not just the guns. Like I don't. That's cool and all, but I want something more than that. I don't know. So yeah, Fortnite for me. I do have to give them props though, because I'm personally convinced that Fortnite was the straw that broke the camel's back on Sony being a punk about crossplay. Like I think Fortnite was what caused Sony to finally start doing cross-playing with the other systems and letting us have a video game ecosystem that's just everybody. So I have
Yeah,
to
they'll
give
fight the curb until it comes to their doorstep.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm got to give them props. I told them when that I remember I was working at Phenomenal when that happened, like when crossplay finally started happening, and it was partially because of Fortnite. I don't remember the exact details, but I was like, all right, I think I'll have to give them 1 round. I'll play 1 round of Fortnite one day, just to.
Yeah,
And I did, and I was like, yep, still don't like it, but I'll give you props. I appreciate you existing and causing this, so that we can all play games together, because I do believe in that kind of ecosystem. Uh, I think you should enjoy what system you enjoy and can play with whoever else plays that particular game. It shouldn't be determined on console wars or whatever, you know?
agreed.
Well, you got a fourth one, you said?
Yeah, I've got a couple things here I want to touch on. So, um, and again, this one I can't. This is more like an honorable mention so far, just because I haven't finished it. So I don't know if my opinion is valid. I know I will eventually, but so far I do not like Silent Hill F.
Oh, wow.
Um, I don't like the combat at all. It's I can honestly say, having played every single Silent Hill game with the exception of the dungeon crawler one and uh the one that launched on PSP, Book of Memories or something like that. I haven't played those two, but I played every other Silent Hill game. This one has the worst combat of any Silent Hill game I've ever played. Um, I know that the developers made it a point to be like, "Oh, it's not a Souls like." Well, if it's not a Souls like, I don't know what is because if I have to watch my stamina bar and I have to wait for my parry window and I have to dodge, and my character dies in 2 swings, to me that's a Souls like. Like if it's frustratingly difficult for the sake of being frustratingly difficult, it's a Souls like. Uh, Silent Hill was never supposed to be the combat was always a means to an end. It was never supposed to be a focus. I know that when the trailer for Silent Hill 2 remake released, everybody and their mother shat their pants and cried and whined and bitched and moaned because that's the ecosystem that we live in now. We complain about something that hasn't even released yet and beat it to death because that's I don't know why that's a trend, but that's what we do. Um, I remember when I saw the trailers for Silent Hill F, I was cautiously optimistic. I thought, okay, the Japanese setting is going to be terrifying because Japanese horror is always terrifying. But I remember when I started seeing the combat, I was like, hey, I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I don't like that stamina bar. I do not like that stamina bar. And even beyond the combat, I don't like the inventory management system. There's 100 different candies that do 100 different things, and my inventory space is full of berries. Like it's just like with no real way to store it other than getting rid of it to trade it in for a umamu or whatever the hell those things are called um, at the shrines. And again, that's something that's never been a thing in Silent Hill games, with the exception of I think it was Silent Hill 4 had it a little bit. My memory might be a little bit fuzzy. And where was the other one? I think there was one other one. Silent Hill Origins, I think. Both were the only ones that I can think of that had inventory management systems, but they weren't in a way where it was upsetting. Like they were just kind of they're like, oh, they changed that. Okay, I hope that's not annoying. And obviously, it wasn't enough for me to be annoyed to remember. Silent Hill F actively frustrates me with the inventory and with the combat. Like to the point where I don't even want to play the game right now. Like it's just so I'm
Wow.
not. That's not what I come to Silent Hill for.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on with the story right now. I know that I don't care. Um, I get it. You know, this girl has a complicated relationship with her family. Cool. You know, who doesn't? So that's not very compelling to me. Uh, her friends are weird. Their dynamics are weird. It's not really anything I can relate to. Um, it's just not grabbing me, and it's actively pissing me off. I'll say that. Like it's just like
Damn.
it's like I
Passionate.
dread playing it. Yeah, I dread playing it. It's just like I
Wow.
so far. This might change. My opinions do change on games.
Yeah.
Um, I might grow to like it. I might be like, oh, okay, well now I get it. It
I
might click. I
I
just don't care right now.
kind of feel like it's gonna be one of those games that sits on your shelf for like 3 years, and then
It's
you'll come
going
back
to.
to it, and you're
It's
like,
going
wow,
to.
this is great.
I'm
Um,
gonna have to table it for now because if I go into it now, I'm just gonna hate finish it, and that's not the point.
hate
If you
finish
don't have
sounds
another
like
one,
hate fuck.
there's another thing I want to mention on games we don't like.
I have one more, but you can go ahead real quick.
Go ahead. No, no,
Okay.
no. Go ahead.
Well, one thing about Silent Hill F, particularly though, is I'll say I have finished it, like we talked about last time, and I actually, the
Yeah.
longer I've been away from it, the more I'm like, I actually really enjoyed that game. Like the more I like sit back and think about it, I'm like, I will say though, the like you're talking about, like there was plenty of times where I just left shit on the floor, like I didn't pick up everything because I was like, well, I'm full and I have what I want and I don't want that anymore. So that feels weird for a
Yeah.
horror game, you know? Like I should feel
Yeah.
like the opposite. So I think I just need to turn up the difficulty or the drop rate. I don't know. But what was weird was that you'd still get your kind of ass kicked really quickly if you weren't quick about healing yourself. So it didn't. I don't know. I agree with you on some aspect of what you're saying, but the longer I've been away from it, the more I've actually kind of appreciated it. It's still not as good as Silent Hill 2, and that's kind of what I've been telling people when they ask me about it. I'm like, if you go into it thinking I hope this is as good as Silent Hill 2 remake, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
No.
you just go into it thinking I want to play a cool horror game in Asia, this is awesome. You'll have a great time. It'll be fun. Um,
You know, one thing that does make me nervous because I don't know if this is true or not, but Silent Hill F outsold Silent Hill 2 remake. Now if that's true, knowing how greedy Konami is, I'm worried that Silent Hill F is going to be the trendsetter for future Silent Hill games to come.
mm,
And I am of the if they take the same what exactly what they did for the Silent Hill 2 remake, if they do that and apply it to the other remakes, they cannot do wrong. They cannot do wrong. So if Bloober Team is behind the Silent Hill 1 remake, which I know they are, but if they treat it the exact same way they did the remake of 2, it's going to be another case of lightning in a bottle. If Konami has their way and they influence, hey, make this more like Silent Hill F, we saw good sales figures, I am going to throw a massive fit. I'm going to
I
be as angry as I was about the remake of Resident Evil 2 and 3.
I'm hoping that they're smart about it because here's what I think happened, in my opinion. Because everyone who asked me about Silent Hill F always asked that question. Was it as good as Silent Hill 2 Remake? So I think these sales numbers are really coming from the fact that Silent Hill 2 Remake was so good. You know? So they're kind of like, it's like inflated. It's like, oh wow, like they did it, they got another one, this shit's popping. So hopefully Konami sees that it was an ebb and flow of the fact that Silent Hill 2 was so good and not that Silent Hill F was so amazing. A
Yeah.
byproduct, if anything, and that they go off that template instead of just looking at it on a rough well, these numbers did that. These numbers,
They, I hope so, man. I hope so
because I
because
think that's what happened, in my opinion. Because everyone who's asked me has always asked that one question: Is it as
oh,
good as Silent Hill 2
100%.
remake?
F wouldn't have gotten the attention that it did. There was such a hungry outcry for. Another thing I don't really like is that there still has not been any mention, even from the actress herself. I was watching her. I was telling you, I was watching her stream the other day. I forgot her name, Salome something. I forgot her last name. Very European last name. The lady that plays Maria in the Silent Hill 2 remake. She's been streaming the games online. Her first time playthroughs of them, and it's funny because you can tell she doesn't play games. She doesn't. This is not her thing. Um, but if nothing else, she gives a lot of insight, some valuable things that behind the scenes stuff that we otherwise wouldn't know. So it's really cool to watch as a fan just for that.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, she did the mocap for the creatures. So she's also not only is she Maria, she's the bubblehead nurses, she's the lying figures, she's the mannequins.
Wow.
So those are her legs. Like that's cool. Um, what else was she saying? Oh, people were asking her about, hey, Born from a Wish. If you don't know what Born from a Wish is it's a sub scenario that you would unlock after playing the original Silent Hill 2, where you play as Maria and how you get to that park. Essentially, it's just like a little, hey, this is Maria's backstory ish, and this is how she ended up here, right?
Hmm.
And people have been like, "Yo, like, when is that happening? Like, when are we dropping the DLC for that?" Like, and she's like, "Yeah, Konami has not contacted me. We have recorded no dialogue for that. I don't think it's happening." Then, needless to say, everybody's disappointed. But I don't think they're going to even bother with it. I don't think they're going to drop Born from a Wish.
Damn.
I think they're just going to keep moving on to because I think the next one is Townfall. I think that's the last project that they announced, Silent Hill Townfall. Um,
I haven't even heard of that
and then
personally.
the remake of the first one. Anyway, yeah, no, I hope that Silent Hill F doesn't set the precedent for
What the future is.
Silent Hill games in the future because
You won't.
and look, and there's Silent Hill games I don't like at all. I don't like Downpour. I think it was ahead of its time. I think had it launched on newer hardware, I think it would have been much better. But I think it was held back by the limitations of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I don't know how it ran on 360. I assume it's just a shit. I don't know. But it was terrible on PS3. They kind of didn't understand the assignment, the westernization of games. You've heard me harp on about this, but
Hmm.
anytime you westernize a game, it usually sucks. Downpour was that way. Shattered Memories, which I know the community generally praises, I didn't care for that at all. I was confused. I was like, why did they think this was something that needed to be made? Like, we could have just skipped this and done something else way cooler.
Way
Um,
cooler.
'Cause it was like a weird remake of the first game, and I did not like it.
Really.
Um, yeah, like it had cool ideas and they were relatively well executed. But it's still just it was underwhelming, and I remember I finished the game and it kept me hooked enough where I wanted to keep going. But I do remember going like, this is a cool little distraction. This is a cool little spin-off. But I don't really look at it as like a mainline title. I see it
Hmm.
as like a Operation Raccoon City, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
And that's coming from somebody that I know I'm in the minority here. I actually really liked Operation Raccoon City. I still revisit it from time to time. I wish I would have had the opportunity to play that co-op with somebody because that game was really cool.
You
I
can't
enjoyed
now,
that.
can you? Right?
No, I don't think so. I doubt it. I'd be surprised. Maybe locally, like local LAN play. I don't think you can do
Damn.
online.
It's
But
like, cause that'd be a fun little thing for us
yeah,
to do.
that was my last like standalone game I wanted to mention.
Okay. Well, my last game is kind of more of a whole series of games, and honestly, it's just I want to set the standard now for anyone before they start asking me later. I don't really play sports games, like in general.
Yeah,
Um, I play them maybe twice in my life. I played 2K for a little bit, and I do enjoy it. I see why people like them. What I don't like to do is support really predatory practices like rebrandishing and barely doing any work and then reselling for full price like that. I don't know why we keep supporting that, but I'm not one to
yeah,
talk. It does feel like more of a quote unquote casual gamer thing to do. If I was even into sports, I'd probably buy one like every 5 years and not every year. And this is coming
yeah,
from someone who I was okay with the cyberpunk delays. In fact, even I still thought when the game originally
It shouldn't have
released,
launched on PS4.
I was like, why are we? We should have just waited still. Um, but yeah, I don't really play sports games. I'll play them every once in a while. I think they can be fun, but I just think that the amount of love they get versus how much effort and kind of predatory practices are put into them they don't pay off for me, and I don't really like to support that. So maybe that's not
That's
so
fair.
controversial. I don't know, but I just really don't like them. I think they're
I'm not really going for controversy. I'm just going off of
what you
how
don't
I
like.
feel. I don't think that's controversial. It will be in the sporting community because those guys are diehard about their shit. But
I,
I'm sure somebody somewhere in that kind of agrees with you. I know FIFA. There was some controversy around FIFA. I don't even think it's called FIFA anymore because I think it got bought out by the United Emirates or some damn place. It's called some other shit now. Um, and I like World Cup soccer. Like I try to catch it when it's on, but I don't. I like you. I'm not a big sports guy. Like football. I if you would have to give me the Clockwork Orange treatment to get me to watch football, and people who watch that movie know what I'm talking about. That's the only way I'm watching it because I don't care. It's boring to me.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that, and just in the sense of the predatory. It does feel like sports games do. I have heard about some of that. Right. I'm gonna go into my last little chunk here. It's kind of going off of what you were saying, but in a different light. So I'm just gonna name a bunch of these because I think they fall along the same kind of category. So Apex Legends, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, those kinds of games, the hero shooter slash uh, even battle royale a little bit. I've dabbled in battle royale, but like you, it's one of those I play a couple matches and then I'm good. Like I don't care after that. Um, the hero shooter genre, the whole multiplayer, whatever the Twitch stream era, the you know that whole thing that's really popular, or what I don't know if it still is because I never really followed it to begin with. I just know that it blew up there for a while. Uh, I think that is just due more so to my age. If I'm being honest, I think I'm just
maybe because I'm the
over the
exact same
hill
boat.
when it comes to that because I just don't give two shits.
Never have.
I think it's boring when I see people playing games like Marvel Rivals and Overwatch specifically and Apex Legends. I'm like, what? It's like that meme, that Joe Pesci meme. Like, what the fuck is this piece of shit? Like that's the vibe that I get. Like just the colorful jumping around, the weird cartoonish animations, and again, I think it's just my age, yeah, because I get it. You get a group. I imagine you get a group of friends together. You battle it out. You talk your shit. You whatever. It's supposed to be a good time. Uh, I just watching it. It's boring. It's unimaginative, and I don't know the corporate side of it, but I know that whole business model makes a shitload of money, and I don't feel that money is reinvested back into the player base in any way, shape, or form.
I agree with you completely. I will say, you're not really a hero person in general. You don't really do superheroes or anything like that either. You're not like
Not
a
really.
Marvel or DC kind of guy, so that makes sense to halfway. But I gotta still agree with you because I am, as you know, I do like my superhero stuff. I'll play my Spider-Man. I'll play my Batman. I'll watch that stuff. I watch
I
the
like Batman. I'll
Avengers.
say that Batman is like the one superhero that I'm
He's the
consistently
coolest.
that I enjoy.
I'd agree
The
with you on
last
that.
Batman game I played was Arkham Knight, and I know the people for some reason didn't like that game. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's the tank. They specifically didn't like the tank, to my knowledge.
Okay, well, get the fuck over it.
Well, they just said to my knowledge, it was too much. Which, thinking back on it, I was like, there was a lot. Like, I felt like it was like every
There
two
was a good amount
missions.
of tank sections, and they did get old, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, "Oh, what the fuck is this game?"
I
Ugh, like
agree
I
with that
didn't.
because it was good. I loved the
Yeah,
characters in it and everything. Um, no, but I do like hero stuff, and I gotta agree with you. The hero shooter, I think this comes back to me to those hero shooters commit the cardinal sin the most of not giving me the best ROI on my time. Like, what am I doing this for? Like,
yeah,
why am I
yeah.
going back in? Why
Clout.
am I clicking it
Yeah,
again? I need
views.
something. Do I have a room to decorate? Like, what's happening?
Yeah,
And you can't tell me it's costumes because it's first person, so I don't give a fuck. I don't care what my costume is. I don't know what I look like.
cosmetics.
So, so, did you have more games? Because I had the sports games, but that was it.
Nope, that was it. That was the last of it. I
Okay,
touched on the ones that I could think of right now.
deal. Well, the only thing we had left to talk about was Steam's new hardware announcements. That
Got to that.
I know, right? We're at an hour and 20 minutes.
That's funny, dude.
We got some shit to cut out though. I think there was a lot of fluff in this one. You were the one who told me to go watch that because I actually didn't even know it was out. But Steam had an announcement of some new hardware coming out, which also you mentioned this, but I really loved how cute their little advertisement was. That little 6 minute video. Like
Yeah,
they were just,
it was a fun ad for a
mm-hmm,
change.
it was very fun. It felt kind of classic, like just the way they used to do it. But they announced the one that's the what was it called? The
The Steam frame, the Steam machine, and the
That's
Steam
right.
controller.
Well, what do you want to start with? Steam Machine
Let's do the controller first.
controller. Okay. So yes, how do you feel about it?
I like it. It looks like the none of those are it. That's the funny. But I think that one. No, I don't
Yeah.
even think that's it.
Is that
Is
not?
that
Oh
it
no,
right
this
there?
one. This one.
That's the one. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It it what it looks like to me, which is why I like it because I actually really like the way the Steam Deck controls, like as far as all the button placement and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like if you took the Steam Deck, made a controller out of it, that's really what it is. Like take away the screen, put some handles on it because they got those little pads, and then I know on the bottom side you probably can't see the bottom side,
Yeah. There's
but the bottom side
buttons.
still has the four buttons on the back that the Steam Deck has. So it has all the buttons that the Steam Deck has. I really dig that. I do
Nice.
like it.
So you
It's
got
chunky. I like a nice chunky controller, which is what drew me to the Steam Deck in the first place. Is it's a very chunky handheld. I don't like those tiny ones that feel flimsy. Like when I play the Switch, I feel like I'm gonna break that damn thing. The Steam Deck, I feel like I can beat somebody with it. You know what I mean? Um, so
yeah.
I'm that's one that I might have to pick up out of curiosity. I might grab the Steam controller because I do dig that. I like that it works with all their titles. I have a workaround right now. I'm using those wired Xbox as we speak. Actually, those wired Xbox controllers.
Yeah.
That's how I play my PC games because I like controllers. I don't like keyboard and mouse. Sue me. Um,
I like controllers too. Actually,
yeah.
keyboard and mouse kind
So
of kill a lot of games for me. Even like as
me
much as
too.
I
Yeah.
love
Like
PC
if I
games.
have to, like I'll put up with it, but I'm like, the whole time.
Same.
But yeah, I'm excited for that one. It looks cool. I dig it.
I think it looks ugly, but I'm very interested, and I want to check it out. I think it looks very
Ugly
ugly.
in what way?
I don't know. It
I'm
just
just
looks like a
curious.
square. Like I don't. It reminds me of like a Ritz cracker. Like I don't know what's going on here. A Ritz cracker with two Ritz crackers on it, and it's black.
Like a beefy. It looks chunky. I like that.
I do like the
A block.
chunkiness of it, but I also feel like it's really long. Like I feel like I'm gonna be like if I'm using the trackpad with my right thumb on the bottom, and then I want to hit
Yeah.
Y, like I'm having to like swing my bitch way up there, you know? So
Yeah.
it's not bad though. Like I do want to check it out. I'd be more curious like when you get it. I'd
Like your
just come up to
grandpa's
your
controller,
place.
that's for sure.
I want to come up to like your house and try yours when you get it. You know, that's where I'm
Yeah,
at. I want to see it before I commit.
that's
Um,
fair.
the Steam Machine, I believe, was next.
Yep. So that's the one that I'm most confused about or most curious about. Like, so from what I know, it's like it's kind of like their console. They say it's 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck already runs some pretty beefy games. I'm kind of surprised by what it can handle as a handheld. So I'm thinking it's got the power of a full blown console, if not like a low end PC. I'm not sure. I don't know any of the technical specs. I have no idea just how powerful it is. But that's how they advertise it. It was like the power of 6 Steam Decks in one.
Right?
And they say it's only like a 6 inch cube, like it's tiny.
It does look tiny.
That
If that's the oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy to me. The fact 'cause I thought it was gonna be like kind of like the Xbox Series, whatever the monolith one was. I thought it was gonna be kind of like that, but a cube version, and it's smaller than that. So,
that
one
is.
thing that I don't know is it like cloud streaming, or do
Mm.
you actually store games on it? Like I don't know how that part works.
I would
Like
imagine
you
you
have
can
to have
store
Wi-Fi
games.
connected.
And here's my thought behind that. The reason why I say this store because we're going to transition over is because this the reason why I think it's going to be able to store games is because they mentioned that you can store games on the frame, the VR thing, that you can literally
Okay.
download games
Oh yeah,
onto
yeah, yeah. They
this.
did say that.
So if
Yeah.
they can do it to this, I don't know why they wouldn't do it to the machine. That wouldn't make
Okay.
sense
So
to
it's
me.
pretty much a console, and see that blows my mind.
Hmm.
It's like a portable console. See, like that's crazy.
I
And
will
the fact
say,
that it works with your Steam library, like that's
yeah, I don't have a
this
lot of
is
games.
big. This is big as far
I,
as console goes.
I would like to check this out. That would be cool. I think
Well,
what I'm most excited about though is the Steam Frame though. Like I loved VR for what it was on the PS4 when I had the PSVR, but it's so clunky and obnoxious, and it was it was a step forward, but it was a lot. You had to be really committed to playing that shit. And this looked really cool. This kind of augmented reality kind of thing where you could just like plop it anywhere and play, and you can download the games on the actual console. And this just looks up my alley for sure. I'm most interested in the frame.
I knew that that VR was eventually going to get to a point where you just slap on some goggles and grab your controllers and call it good. I knew that was coming. Um, I just didn't know when. I knew it was going to be soon, sooner than expected. And I think, unless other VR platforms have already kind of adapted this and I just didn't hear about it, but this seems like that next step forward. I am also curious about that. I don't have a VR right now. A friend of mine wants to sell me his PSVR 2. I told him I wanted to try it first because the biggest issue that I've had, specifically with PlayStation VR, like you said, is very cumbersome. But even besides that, because eventually I could get myself past that. What I could not abide by with the PSVR was how goddamn uncomfortable that headset was. I mean, it would give me headaches. And now I have a big ass head, to be fair. I don't think it was meant for me. But I mean, it was just like, it was painful to play VR for very long on the PSVR.
Fair.
Um, and this thing looks way more comfortable. This looks like something I could get behind. I could tie my hair up and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Um, but back to the machine. There was something else I wanted to touch on. If
Oh
it's a
yeah.
full blown console and if it's, I know that you can. One thing I liked that was mentioned was you can upgrade the memory with SD cards, and SD cards are really convenient because you can just swap them out on the fly.
Yeah. It's
They're
like
like
old
memory
school
cards,
memory
but
cards.
yeah, the memory cards are back in a weird way. Um, I don't know if save. I don't think saves transfer across that. I think that's still the same. But if you can save the saves locally, I don't think it matters. Because I know on Steam Deck it's an issue. I don't think there's a local memory. So if you swap out your SD card and the game that is installed is not like the save files don't transfer, I guess.
Mm.
Um, one thing I did want to say, one thing I did want to mention, one negative that I have with Steam in general is, so everybody's always saying how like it's cheaper, it's a cheaper way to play it, right? Like the Steam sales are insane, and they are. You can get some cheap games for really good games for $3-4. Like it's wild how crazy some of these sales are. But one thing that people don't really talk about is Steam is not GOG. Steam is not. You're essentially just renting a license, And what we saw with that Ubisoft game, I forget, Need for Speed or one of those racing games, the servers got shut down and people were shit out of luck and they couldn't play their games, and that was it. That's that. That's kind of where we've been at for a while now. Like that is the current state of games. Is like
Yeah.
you don't really own your games. It's just a license, and Steam is one of the worst perpetrators for that. Hey, have this cheap game, but it's not really yours. Play it while you can.
Yeah.
What's that going to mean 20 years from now, right? One thing too that annoys the hell out of me with my Steam Deck. I bought the Steam Deck primarily. Now, I'm not a tech guy, but I bought it primarily because I knew that you could emulate games on the Steam Deck. And I liked the Steam Deck for its versatility. You can dock it and play it on the TV. You can take it with you. It's got a beefy screen. It's a chunky system, right? It's of the handhelds, it's one of the more powerful ones. I know everybody says the Rogue Ally is more powerful and all that, but whatever. Me not being a tech savvy guy, I knew it was going to be a learning curve. I don't know how to emulate, but I bought it because I wanted to emulate old games on the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox, because the hardware is getting really old and it's starting to break down. My PS2 specifically, my disc tray has a lot of issues. Um the Xbox, sometimes it'll just shut off. It doesn't happen very often, but it's like you can tell that there's a buzzing that comes through the audio if I play with headphones on the Xbox. Those kinds of things, though, that kind of inaccessibility with old hardware is showing, right?
Yeah.
And my Steam Deck was supposed to be the workaround for that. If I can emulate these old games, I no longer need all that old hardware. I can dock it and play it on the TV. Outbreak on a modern console, right?
Yeah.
That that was the ultimate goal, the suffering on a modern console. Uh, I don't understand how to emulate to this day. I have not figured it out. I don't know anybody tech savvy enough to help me with it, but that was the big thing for me, and I've not been able to achieve that. Um,
All I know about emulating is when I used to emulate Pokemon on my PC. And you'd have to download an emulator, and then you'd have to go download the ROM, is what it was called, which is
yes,
the ROM
yes,
of the game.
yes,
And it was kind of always pirated, as I remembered it. It was never
yeah,
really
yeah.
legal.
Yeah. You're not necessarily supposed to. There's a way. And then somebody told me that you can get the ROM specifically like from the games if you own them physically, but I don't know if that renders the disc useless afterward.
I don't know.
Yeah, these are questions that I have. But um no, it looks cool, it's exciting. I just my biggest gripe, besides what I just mentioned, that you don't actually own anything on Steam, is the fact that there are some games specifically on the Steam library, specifically on my Steam Deck, that are old, okay? That are single player. Explain to me, somebody please explain to me why nobody talks about this. Why in the actual fuck do I have to have an active internet connection to play a game that came out in 2017 that's single player? Explain that to me, please.
Yeah, I don't know
I
this.
can't stand that. The whole point of the Steam Deck and its quote unquote portability is that you can play games anywhere. If I'm on a goddamn airplane, I should be able to play my goddamn games. Right? 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 No. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, it's in offline mode because we'll throw it in offline mode. Offline mode doesn't always work, bitch. I put it in offline mode. I go and it still wants an active connection. It still wants to verify whatever the hell it is it needs to verify, and I cannot play the goddamn game. A single player horror game from 2014. Tell me why I need internet connection for that. That is the thing that drives me insane about modern uh, technology, specifically with Steam and all that stuff. Is you have to. There are old games like Max Payne 3, for example. If I haven't logged into Rockstar's stupid portal, stupid server, whatever thing that they have going on, if I haven't logged in on that in a while, it won't let me play Max Payne 3 offline. It just won't do it. Max Payne 3 came out in 2012, and
Wow.
it's primarily a single player game. Why do I need an active internet connection? And that is the biggest sin I think that Valve and Steam have committed. Yeah, what's the point of all this versatility, all this portability, all that you claim to be about the players and this and that, but you're gonna have that stupid verification shit with so many games. In as much as I'm excited about this technology, the console, the Valve, the frame, all that stuff, like as cool as it looks, is it going to be one of those where I bring this very portable hardware with me to a hotel room for whatever reason? Let's say I'm on a trip, whatever, and I go to play, and let's say I don't have internet connection or the connection to the hotel Wi-Fi sucks or something of the like, and it doesn't work. Well, then it's useless. And I've been railing against this since 2010. I've been railing this since 2010. The
Yeah.
more that we become reliant on internet connectivity, the less player friendly it's going to be. And I've had this issue. I had this issue back then, and I have it now. It has to have internet. Well, the motherfucker, like, it's a video game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not hacking the government. Like, fucking let me play my game.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. I agree completely.
One thing I want to touch on the Steam machine too. Um, it's kind of weird that they're announcing what's essentially a Valve console. That is strange to me. That's an odd move because, by all accounts, by all intents and purposes, the console's going the way of the dodo. So for them to release a console this late in the game kind of begs the question: is the console really going away as
I
soon
don't
as everybody thinks it
I don't
is?
think it is because like all of the major participators, PlayStation, Xbox, even Xbox, even though I don't think they're going to hold to it, but even Xbox, they've all said that they're going to make another console, that it's still profitable enough to do it. It's not as dead as we thought, and I've been joining a lot of like Reddit game collecting groups and just watching everyone. There's a lot of collectors out there, to be honest. Although a lot of them just collect to collect. Like they're just like owning just anything that they can get their
Yeah, that
hands on.
bothers me. Yeah,
I don't understand that. It almost makes it feel gross. It feels if you do this,
I
that's
agree.
totally fine. I just my collection. I just want it to be shit I want to play. Like I don't want it to be
Exactly.
there if I don't want to play it.
That's always been my intent with my collection. Is if I intend to play this shit when I'm an old man.
Yes, and other people I think they do it as like a hobby to collect, which is cool. That's totally great. And I just don't be one of those
Well, but
collectors
at the
that
same
owns
time, you
15
ruin it for
copies.
somebody else.
Yeah, don't own 15 copies of the same game because you just
That
that's
are
annoying. Own
crazy.
one, but some cool,
Yeah.
exciting Steam stuff announced. Which one's your
If you're a
favorite?
fan of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, what are you most excited about?
I don't know. It's one of those where it's like I'm curious about all of them. I'm probably most excited for the controller just because I feel like it's not going to be super expensive to grab one and it's something that I know
You'll enjoy.
can yeah, that it will be used. It's compatible with my hardware. Um the console, like I said, with the fact that it's so small and just the portability and the versatility of it because and yeah, I mean you saw the video. It says you can run. It's like a PC essentially, as
Hmm.
well as a console. That's wild to me. I don't think it's going to be very cheap, so I'm a little hesitant about that one. I feel like that's going to be
That's why they didn't
a
mention the
hefty
price.
payment. Yeah.
Yeah, four thousand
The
dollars.
frame, the frame is something that I'm hesitant on because so PSVR, you remember how janky that was.
Yeah,
Even with that, even with how archaic those controllers were, because they use the Move controllers. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Even with how archaic that was, still to this day, the most intense thing I've ever done. So I'm thinking, like, okay, like I essentially played the PS1 version of VR, right? Pixely, shitty graphics,
Yeah.
hard to get into, right? And even at that, I was like, this is mind bendingly crazy. Like, this is some of the most. I mean, okay, I remember this day well. I went and saw Rogue One, Star Wars, Rogue One in theaters. Okay. I remember this day because I got to go hang out with these two cute girls and we watched this movie. Right. And I'm a big Star Wars fan. So that movie blew my fucking mind. One of my favorites. I was like, holy shit, this is good. Hang out with these chicks. And then immediately from there, go to Chick-fil-A. And then from there, I went over to my friend's house and I think I picked up my girlfriend or I saw my girlfriend after. I forget. But I went to my friend's house and he was like, "Hey man, I got PSVR and I downloaded that Star Wars VR mission." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here. What did you say to me right now? Like I just watched Rogue One. What are you saying?" He's like, "Dude, you have to play this." And I don't know if you remember in the first Battlefront there's a VR mission, dude. So I went from doing all that to like being literally in fucking space, flying around a star destroyer, fighting TIE fighters and like the chunks were like I remember like moving like almost wincing because the chunks would hit the cockpit glass and like I mean I was in a fucking X-wing like it was just so crazy to me at the time. So I'm thinking like I sold my VR eventually because I never played it. It was the fucking headset got to be too much for me. Um but I'm thinking to myself like how much of a leap forward has VR gone, right? Like, how crazy is it now for me to go from PSVR to something like this Valve one, or even PSVR 2 that has a Metro game on there, by the way?
Oh shit.
It's like, am I going to be able to handle it? Like, is this going to overtake me?
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck reality. I'm plugging in. Matrix
Yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah. So
bitch.
I'm a little because it looks comfortable. That bitch looks easy. It's a strap, which is all I've ever wanted. Just let me wear some fucking glasses. Um,
This looks. This is what I'm most excited about. I am stoked about this. And honestly, even just beyond the VR gaming, but like just sitting on the couch next to my wife and playing whatever game I want because it's being like augmented reality screened in front of me, Like I don't need it to be a VR game to play it. It
you
just
can do like it does this like cool like movie theater thing. I don't know if you've ever done
yeah,
it.
yeah, no, and like how the PSVR did it back in the day with like cutscenes and shit. Sometimes you would see just like a screen in front of you, but it looks like
Yep.
it's like augmented reality, so you can kind of see around you still. So when my dogs are
Yeah.
causing trouble, I can like be like, "Hey, knock it off,"
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be dope. All of it's cool
Yeah,
though. I do agree with you. I think
I'm
all of them.
curious about each and every one for
Yes.
sure.
I think I should get the Steam frame and you get the controller, and then maybe if we both can afford the machine, that'd be perfect, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And then I'll try out your
definitely.
controller, see if it's worth it. You try out my frame, see if it's worth it, and we're all
Keep in
winners.
mind, I do like a very chunky controller. I don't like the time. Like even the PS5, I bought these grips for them because the PS5 is too small and it's too chuny for me. Like I need a hefty controller. That's one thing I've always liked about Xbox
Same.
over
I've always said
PlayStation.
that.
Yeah,
Xbox
my
is
hands are too
always,
big for that shit.
especially like PS2 versus Xbox. Like
Oh
Xbox is
God,
way
yeah,
better.
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so that's pretty much everything we talked about today. Man, that was a long one on BioCrypt Productions
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
But we kicked ass. Thanks for listening, guys. Definitely like, subscribe, comment, tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right. Start a fight in the comments. Do that. That's a good call. Anything else you want to say, Alan?
Free Luigi. I'm not gonna release the Epstein files.